In Topic 1, we explored key ideas related to the question, what is education? And in Topic 2, we unpacked some other key ideas about the purpose of education. In this topic, Topic 3, we continue to extend and perhaps provide a rationale for these understandings by contemplating the history of education. All three concepts discussed in this topic highlight the effects the history of education, both as a practice and as an institution, have on contemporary experiences of educative practices within and beyond schools. In 3.3, you'll view an RSA Animate presentation by Sir Ken Robinson that I think ties together some of these key ideas very cleverly and succinctly. As always, your mind will be trying to connect all of the dots across the unit to see connections between this topic and your assessment tasks. Let's look at the immersion report task first. In the immersion report, you're required to zoom in on an educative practice and describe your observations of that practice in terms of the sayings, doings, and relatings that constitute them. Then you'll need to zoom out of the practice to consider the arrangements or the practice architectures holding these practices in place. Each will provide evidence of the residual effects of history, both past and recent. For example, let's look at this image of children engaged in the educative practice we know as nippers. Take a moment to look closely at the image and then consider these questions. Where did the term nippers originate? And why are the children wearing fluorescent pink vests? The answers to these questions can be found in the historical antecedents of the practice. One, the origin of the term, nippers, has a long history, and the other, wearing pink vests, quite a recent one. It might be fun to Google the origins of these practices and discuss your ideas and results in your tutorial. Also, as part of your immersion report, you're required to identify at least 2 practice traditions influencing the practices you've observed. Practice traditions carry the imprints of prior sayings, doings, and relatings enacted in the practice. They encapsulate the history of the happenings of the practice and act as a collective memory of the practice. Using the example of nippers again, and looking at this image, you can see that there's at least 2 practice traditions at play in this image. One, the practice of wearing a cap that isn't sun-safe, but that bears the colours of the club the children belong to. That's quite a long practice, historically embedded practice tradition. And another, the tradition of flag races on the beach, goes back in history a long time. Again, you can look into these traditions if they are of interest and discuss why they may still endure as part of the suite of educative practices that collectively constitute the project we call Nippers. I can't stress more highly the importance of engaging with your tutors and peers during the tutorials, preferably as an active participant either online or on campus, but if that isn't possible, then as a passive participant by listening to the recorded online sessions. Coming up next, we look at the politics of education, and this topic will provide further substance for your consideration of the arrangements shaping and holding practices in place within particular contexts.